Raza's Retro here, and I hope everyone is remaining retro. Today we are doing the recap of the Season 2 for the Shan and Raza Cup. The Shan and Raza Cup is basically 15 challenges that go on throughout the year. It's basically a tribute to my late brother Sean, who passed away at the age of 40 in his sleep. And Raza is actually my father's name. It's also part of my first name as well, but it's actually also a tribute to my father who is still with us, and may God give him a long life. But it's also a tribute to my family, the Raza family, because we all have Raza in our name. And obviously, what it has become um, is really a cool and fun community type of thing where a lot of people have gotten involved, and that's great to see. So it's also a tribute for you guys in a sense. Just wanted to share some pictures in the back of Sean. There's my father. The baby, that's my sister. It's not me. But anyways, without any further ado, we'll look at the challenges, just do like a quick recap of each. And then after that, we'll give our thank yous, congratulate the winners, and just finish off by saying thank you again. So we kicked off season 2 with the iconic Killer Instinct game. What a fantastic game this was. It's a shame I was never able to master it, but my word, Killer Instinct is definitely up there. It is so iconic. We did the challenge basically as a tribute to the legend combo. The name of the challenge was Retro Combo Challenge. It was pretty cool to kick things off like this. I had a lot of fun with this one. It was a one life challenge to see how far you can get. Saber Duel Gaming ended up actually winning that particular challenge. So it was a pretty cool way to kickstart the season. All right, so the next challenge was our very first collab, which came to us by the legend by the name of Subliminal VCR. The WrestleFest challenge had a long name, the Wolf Hamberton Classic. But anyways, great name, great challenge itself. A game that was very special to him, and this challenge was very special because it's. I mean, not only was the challenge itself great, where you can pick any character except Million Dollar Man, one credit, unlimited tries, and you just try to see how far you can get. But it was the start of something special in the sense that elite older gamer stepped into the ring, no pun intended, and started his domination of the Shan and Raza Cup. Then we came on to our next collab, which was with Officially Captured, also known as Millennial, or as Galloway Gaming calls them, Millennial. Absolute legend. And this was a great challenge because I think this challenge had the most participant for season 2, and I think even for the Shan and Raza Cup all time. Very special challenge as well. Another game that I'm not great at, but we had a lot of great entries. This one also had Elite Older Gamer finishing first, and was just a fun one and done, one life challenge to see how far you can get. Then we had a challenge that came from me, which was called the Mario Got Speed Challenge, which is basically Super Mario World. You got to play this particular level, unlimited tries, and try to see if you can get the fastest time possible. A lot of great people took part. Cynic also made his debut in the Shan and Raza Cup, and I believe Elite Older Gamer finished first along with some other tubers as well. I had a good run on this one as well. I think I finished second or third, but this was lots of fun, pretty straightforward, and just wanted to include a Mario game that was special to me. So it was a lot of fun and quite easy to get into. And then we had Teeth Are Just As Good as Goals Challenge, which came to us from a very special YouTuber, Papa Bear Gaming. I was so happy that he agreed to come up with a challenge. For those that don't know, Papa Bear Gaming makes great content. He hasn't been posting for a while, but he is one of the nicest and most down to earth people on YouTube. So I was very thrilled when he came up with this challenge. And he did me a favor as well. He came up with a hockey challenge because I was thinking of, doing a hockey game, but I I didn't really know which way to go. So the fact that he wanted to do Blades of Steel did me a big favor. This was a fantastic challenge as well, where whenever you won fights, it was added to your tally. And what was really cool about this one was that Elite Older Gamer did end up winning this particular challenge. But why this was cool was because when this challenge was issued out, Elite Older Gamer being from England, I thought, okay, he doesn't have any experience with hockey, or I assumed he doesn't have any experience with hockey. So, chances are he will not end first. And what did he do? He went ahead, he played the game, he figured it out, and he ended up destroying the competition for this one. Great challenge by a great tuber and a very interesting result, one that was not suspected, at least from me. Then we had the Flicky Challenge, which came to us from Blonde Logic Gaming. This one was very interesting because a lot of people struggled with it. A lot of people really found it quite challenging. Elite Older Gamer did finish first in this one, but he had a hard time with it as well initially. He was so frustrated that he ended up throwing the the CD that he was playing it on. I think it was like the Mega Drive collection. Spare Umbris, by the way, I haven't mentioned him. I do apologize. He had a really good effort in this one as well. At this point in time, he was finishing second in a lot of these challenges, putting up good fights. I think he also finished first or tied for first in that Mario challenge. But anyways, getting back to the actual challenge itself, I just remember like I was so frustrated with this one as well. I struggled. It was like when I saw the game itself, because I'm not I'm not familiar with Flicky. I thought, okay, this should be easy. It looks cute. It sounds cute. But this game gave me nightmares. In particular, the music. My kids kept asking me like, "Daddy, why do you keep playing this baby game?" And in my head, I'm like, that is a good question. Why am I even trying when I know the result will not be good in my favor? But regardless, this was really fun. And it was an interesting one. It was an interesting one because I think globally, a lot of people found it challenging. Then, for the first time in the Shan and Raza Cup history, we did a tribute. Now, this challenge came from me, but this was a tribute for Galloway Gaming. Now, up until this point, and even throughout season two, Galloway Gaming took part in every Shan and Raza Cup challenge, with the exception of one later on. But regardless, he took part in all of the challenges, and has been just a great supporter of the Shan and Raza Cup, of my channel, and of other people's channel, along with PJ Venom. Uh, these two are great supporters. They're always showing love. And I just thought that, you know what, why not give a tribute to the legend himself? This wasn't planned or anything like that. It was done spontaneously, and I ended up going with Wonder Boy because it was a game that he had a lot of love for. Retro Red Steve finished first in this particular challenge. Spare Umbris had a fantastic run as well, but I thought it was something interesting and special to start a tribute challenge for a legend by the name of Galloway Gaming. Then we had the Dale Dash for Distance Challenge, and this was very special as well because it came to us from a very special person, another collab, Game on Ghost, who I have great interactions with on Instagram and on YouTube as well. Despite being a channel that has a lot of subscribers, I think he has over about 4,000. He still shows a lot of love and support to smaller channels like myself, and is always very positive and makes great content. So when he agreed to come up with a challenge, I was very pleased, essentially, that he was able to come up with something, and a game that proved to be quite interesting in terms of the challenge itself, because I think in this case, if I'm not mistaken, this was one of the challenges where Spare Umbris finished first all on his own. Gamer Girl Resi had a good time with this one as well, if I recall correctly. So it was just a pretty cool challenge, a game that is iconic, but just one that I didn't have much experience with. So it was pretty cool to, kind of get out of my comfort zone and play a game that I didn't have much experience with. Next, we had Do the Bartman Challenge, which was a tribute for John Bunday. I said to myself, if I did a tribute for Galloway Gaming, then I had to do one for John Bunday as well. It would just, it wouldn't be right. Essentially, both, have taken part in every single challenge. John also is a great supporter of the YouTube community, always showing a lot of love and support for everybody. So I basically went back to a conversation that John and I had on WhatsApp a while back, a very casual conversation about The Simpsons, a show that he loved, I loved, my brother Sean loved, and we were talking about Simpsons video games, and he basically mentioned the arcade game being his favorite Simpsons game of all time. So I thought it would just make sense to uh, come up with this challenge, the Do the Bartman challenge, which would show love and appreciation for The Simpsons, which was a show that was special to both of us, but at the same time to do a tribute to John Bundy himself. Then we had a very special collab with the legend himself, Retro Crisis, a very big YouTuber, over 20,000, subscribers. He's got a lot of followers on Instagram as well. He has been a very kind and supportive individual, always showing a lot of love and respect. Um, so when he, agreed to come up with a challenge, I was more than happy. I was more than thrilled. He's one of the first few people uh, that I subscribed to, literally from the start, and vice versa. So he's been with me since day one, uh, and I'm very thankful for that. He creates great content. He, is a very tech savvy guy, very knowledgeable about, video games, and dare I say, possibly the best voice on YouTube. Please check him out. He's got an amazing voice. But anyways, he came up with the Marble Madness challenge, which was a crazy challenge because a lot of people did lose their marbles, myself included. Spare Umbris had a fantastic run at this. Elite Older Gamer as well. Elite Older Gamer was happy because he found out that if you play the game well, you can finish it in about 6 or 7 minutes. So he had a fantastic run with this, along with Spare Umbris. And yeah, it was just really great to have a legend like Retro Crisis come up with a challenge for the Shan and Raza Cup. We had a very special challenge with this one, Double Dragon 2 The Revenge, a tribute to Subliminal VCR. So this was actually the last tribute challenge that I did. This was for Subliminal VCR, another great tuber who has shown a lot of, love and respect. Really, has done wonderful work on YouTube. When he first started, he was very casual, and then as time progressed, he really elevated his YouTube content, and just a great supporter and a great all around dude. So I said, okay, you know what? I got to do one last tribute. This one was interesting. I basically just simply asked him to give me 4 games, and then we did like a spin the wheel, and Double Dragon 2 The Revenge is what came out. This was a great one as well. Spare Umbris finished first in this one, and he mentioned something very interesting. He said that he read the manual for the game, which gave him a lot of help and tips. And I remember in his video he said, "You gotta read the manual, people." And I started laughing because I thought to myself, I'm like, man, I don't even have any manuals left for a lot of the video games that I owned back in the day. So I thought that was pretty funny. Um, but yeah, this was a great challenge for a great YouTuber and a great person. And it was essentially the last tribute that we did for a YouTuber in season 2. And then we had a very special collab with Retro Gamer Knee doing the 6 golden coins challenge. He ended up, I believe, finishing first. He actually beat the whole game, which was very, very cool to see. Spare Umbris, Gamer Girl Resi, they also had a great run on this one. There was also Retro Overdose, his first time taking part in a Shan and Raza Cup. So it was pretty interesting. Unfortunately for myself, not a game that I have any experience with. So I unfortunately did not do well, but it was still fun. It was still fun to, try something different. And yeah, just was really happy to have Retro Gamer Knee take part. Um, and come up with a challenge, and it was the first time we did like a Game Boy game as well. So that's also what made this challenge very special, is that it was the very first time we had a Game Boy game as part of a challenge on the Shan and Raza Cup. So next up was the Can You Kick It challenge, which was the last challenge that came from me. It was a homage to the Can You Kick It challenge, which was the first challenge on the Shan and Raza Cup Season 1. And then we came up with this one, Can You Kick It, to give some love to the original Mortal Kombat game, which is a game that I do have a lot of love for. Um, and it was really cool because it's also, I believe, where TGS and Master Mel made their debut, and they did a fantastic job. They were tied for first. And I did well in this challenge as well. I finished second, so I was very proud with that effort. Asta Cheese also took part in this one as well. I believe that was his debut. And a couple of great people did take part. Benji as well. Gamer Girl Rezi, Galloway, of course, John Bundy, Saber Duel Gaming, Subliminal. And this challenge, what was pretty funny from what I remember, is most of us ended up losing to Sonya Blade, which was pretty interesting. So she was like she was public enemy number 1. But anyways, with that being said, that was the last challenge that came up from me, and then we had 2 others, which were essentially 2 special collabs. Then we had the That's Light challenge, which came to us from Elite Older Gamer. Now, basically, Elite Older Gamer, I can't remember exactly when it was, but he won the Shan and Raza Cup mathematically. I don't know if it was challenge number 10, 11, 9, but at a point in time, mathematically, it was not possible to catch up to the Elite Older Gamer. So, initially, I was supposed to do the next 2 challenges as well, because the way the Shan and Raza Cup is set up is that 8 challenges come from me, 7 come from other tubers, so a total of 15. But because mathematically it was already done, it wasn't going to change anything in the standings. I said, you know what? Because he already won, he's going to get his trophy and his prizes as well. But let's give him another honor or another prize, and let's see if he's up for coming up with a challenge. So when I reached out to him, he was more than happy to do so. He himself didn't take part, but he was happy to issue out the challenge where you play as Ryu and you only use the light buttons for light punch and light kick. A lot of great people had taken part as well for this one, and yeah, he basically came up with a great name. That's Light Challenge because of the light punches and light kicks, but it's also a catchphrase that he uses as well. So I thought it was just a good nod to have him come up with a challenge. And then we had one final challenge, which also comes to us from another special tuber, which I'll explain shortly. And then to finish things off, we had one last collaboration, and that was with a very special individual, our runner up, the one and only, the legend himself, an elite gamer himself, Mr. Sperumbris. I was so happy that he agreed to come up with the last challenge. Fellow Montrealer, fellow Canadian, great human being, and a great gamer. And he came up with a Mega Buster challenge, Mega Man, one life, try to see how far you can get. Unfortunately, I didn't do so well. As a matter of fact, I finished last. But Sperumbris, he himself, he killed it with this challenge. TGS, he was fantastic as well. Retro Gamer Knee, Game on Ghost, King Greatness made his debut as well. So a lot of great people ended up doing pretty good on this particular challenge. So now I kind of want to just go and say my thank yous So I'm going to try to thank as much people as possible. Certain people I'll give a bit of a special shout out if that's okay. But without any further ado, it's time to thank everybody that made this possible. So big shout out to the Elite Older Gamer for finishing first and dominating the competition, Spare Umbris for being a fantastic runner-up, Saber Duel Gaming for finishing third and taking part in every single challenge. Despite coming late to the party, TGS and Master Mal were fantastic additions to the Shan Raza Cup. Gamer Girl Rezi, Subliminal VCR for taking part in every single challenge and showing his love and support. Retro Gamer Knee, big shout out to you. Also for collaborating. Xbit Gits, fantastic tubers as well. John Bundy, of course, for taking part in every challenge. Thylord Stevenson and Retro Red Steve. Big shout out to Galloway Gaming, same thing, being a usual suspect and taking part. Retro Tap and Nerd Dad David as well. Big shout out and love to those guys. Great guys. Papa Bear Gaming for coming up with a fantastic challenge and just being a great individual. Benji's Retrospective, who came towards, I think, the last few challenges, really wanted to take part. So big love and shout out to him. Millennial or officially captured, as he was known as. Retro Projections, he made a return briefly. He was our season 1 winner as well. The Nerd Life, 5th Gen Journey. Big shout out to these guys as well. Big shout out to Blonde Logic for coming up with the Flicky Challenge. Marco's Blind Gaming. Retro Crisis for his Marble Madness Challenge. Retro Tiburon. Retro Gaming Langers, Retro Caver, Twin Doors, Retro Snipe, Gib 84 Gaming, VHS Combos, the Time Rap JMZ, Ask the Cheese Gaming, Betty Horde Clinic, Angry Dad Gaming, Cynic Placebo, the Eve's Ham Gamer. If I mispronounce it, I do apologize. Mike Tendo Power, Jessica Retro Lunacy, Retro Overdose. Thank you to everybody that took part. Thank you to anybody that showed any sort of love and appreciation. And I just want to give a special shout out to PJ Venom for always showing love to everybody that took part. Without you guys, it would not be possible. So season 2 has been done and dusted. It's on to season 3, and always remain retro.